following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Toxic 32 here on Apocalyptic August, the final regular season tournament here for D1 of MRE Uno. I'm your host G-Man and we got another good stream for you coming up here with number 3 seed Brad taking on number 6 seed Charles Sandfer in the nuclear region. Both with a chance to make Super League. Brad currently in the field, Sandfer currently out, but both with a chance to make it with a good run here, and possibly an important match for both of them as they both hope to be in the field for the second straight season. We'll see who comes on top. Let's get into the bracket preview here to start things off. And let's read this down. This is going to be a legend versus legend battle here. Both players are legends from making Super League. Brad won Tournament 3 last season, so that's why he's in the legends class. Sandfer with a good season last season. So they land here. For the Tournament 5 game record, so far, Brad unfortunately had a DQ win to kick things off here, so gets thrown a little bit back here from the get-go, but does still make it to the round of 32. And then Sandfer was able to win 4-2 in the first round, getting the job done over Camaro in a bit of a redemption match there. Lost to Camaro in Tournament 1, gets the run back in Tournament 5, so sets the record straight there. He looks to keep this run going and keep himself alive in the hunt here. As you see here, he is ranked 30th, technically the last player to be ranked in the prior Super League reveal. And of course, as I mentioned before, Brad looking to make the field. He is currently ranked 14th, so on the cusp at the moment, but currently in the green. But a win here will help a lot. Career round 32 record. Brad perfect 6-0. He has not lost here. And then for Sandfer, it's 7-4. Again, Brad really good in this round. Doesn't really give up his ground in this spot once he gets out of the round 64. For Sandfer, usually sees some success here, but is going to be a tall order since he's going to have to beat someone who's never lost in this round. And for career accolades, both have had a lot of accomplishment. Brad, one of the few players to have the trophy case full with 1, 2, 3 with gold, silver, bronze, 1, 2, 3. The gold, of course, coming from Tournament 3 last season. The silver coming from Tournament 3 this season, and the bronze, I'm trying to remember where that one came from. That might have actually been last season. I'm blanking on which one it was, but again, Brad with all 3. And then Sandfer with 2 silvers. However, he has not gotten any medals since 2023, so he'll be hoping to get another medal here in this tournament run. And that could all start here. CPU prediction. Sandfer in the advantage 4-3 here. You know how the CPU loves those game 7 moments here, so predicting another one there. We'll see how that one goes. CPU looking for the upset here, although with Brad's 6-0 round 32 record, that is going to be a tough task. But let's take a look at the bracket here. As I mentioned before, Sandfer beat Camaro in the first round, and then Brad won by forfeit over M. And now they face each other in the round 32. Up at the top here, DJ Curtis with a big upset over Caesar. And now Curtis, who has not had a great season this time around, is going to be facing the winner of this match coming up. And for Caesar, he now has to wait and see whether he'll make the field, although it's not looking good at the moment for him. But we'll see who gets the win here between Brad and Sandfer. But let's start to the table now. I'm joined by my co-commentator Seth. I believe this is the first time we have actually done co-commentators together, so this is going to be a first. Welcome to the booth here. Walk me through this matchup. This is between two players who have had a good amount of success in their careers. Brad came in 2024. Sandfer has been here since Tournament 3 of 2023. but both have found success on the table here and now go head to head in what could be a really important match for both, as both are in that conversation to maybe make Super League. Sandfer definitely needs a win here. Brad would like to have a win here, with him being 14th. But walk me through this matchup and what it means for both players here going into today.
Yeah, certainly has a big fight feel, as you say. I mean, kind of like in a wrestling event where you have those two gladiators for the main event. That's what this kind of feels like here. You alluded to it. I mean, the accolades that the two have stacked up, over 400 starts between the two of them here in the past years of these tournaments. You mentioned about the accolades they've got in terms of the medals, 5 combined medals between the two of them here. There's just so much experience in between these two players that it's actually really cool that we get to see the two of them face off in a West Coast Legends battle. The thing that I've been kind of noticing here, you brought up a statistic in the round of 32, 6-0 here for Brad. That's going to be an interesting thing to kind of tap in on, because for the most part, they look like they're on a relatively level playing field for the entirety of 2025. You look at their records coming in here, they're almost batting 500 each, 37-37 for Brad, 29-28 for Charles. So there's been the fluctuation of success, and then there's been the agony of defeat. Another thing that I kind of noticed with the two of these individuals here as well is this is playing somewhat similar to a trend that we've seen here for about the last week in Toxic 32, where we've seen some upsets in terms of the seeding numbers, where individuals that sat out the round of 64 by virtue of that first round bye, they've kind of been taken to the cleaners. They've kind of hit a brick wall with some of these individuals that are seated underneath them. You talked about that DQ victory there for Brad. Technically, that's kind of the same similarity as if he came in with a first round bye. So I have to wonder, with some of these upsets that we've been seeing, Charles is back kind of against the wall in a must-win situation here. Do we see that trend continue? Because while the storyline's not exact as it has been for a number of the individuals that have come here into the Toxic 32 with a first round bye, the situation is somewhat similar.
Yep, indeed. Thank you, Seth. But it's gonna be really interesting to see how both of them go into this one. I mean, Sanford in pretty much a must-win situation with him being ranked 30th and needing some wins here, especially some quality wins here. Sanford has had a mixed bag this season in terms of wins. I mean, his best wins probably myself on the year thus far, which does help, but we'll need a little bit more than that. If he can get a win over Brad, that's gonna help him at least with the quad 2. Um, so Sanford looking to get score big here with the win. Brad looking to add to his cushion here and maybe get a nice quad 3 win to help him out as well, especially with the DQ win coming off the first round. We're gonna go to the players here. I'm actually gonna go to Brad first because Sanford, this is gonna be his 300th game start of all time. We're including his playoffs with that one, so we'll have a bit more of a ceremony with that one. But for Brad, we'll start off with this one. You are actually at 99 wins here, so if you do get one win here, you will get 100, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But for the present, this matchup's going to be important for you, with you being ranked 14th and on the bubble to make Super League. You made it last season with the win, having gotten the tournament win this season, so you've been fighting for that at-large spot. But walk me through your thoughts here as you go up against Sanford, who is definitely going to be very desperate here to get the win, as you both fight to make Super League for the second year in a row.
So I know this is a must win. Like, I don't think I get an at large if I lose here. I think I have to win to make Super League. Thing is, like, I know I had a DQ win, but I've had a bye before and I've been fine. So, like, I'm used to that. I had a last year at T5 and I won. I just need to get another win.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Again, Brad knows the situation he's in, and he'll be ready to go at it here, and we'll see how it goes. But for Sanford here, we're gonna have a bit of a ceremony here, because before we jump into game one will be your 300th game message here. I have a voice clip from KT here, which I'll send in a second. But before that, Sanford, I mean, your thoughts. You've been in the league for a while, and I believe you're the first person to get the 300 game starts if we're including everything. So this includes regular season, Super League, all that good stuff. So just walk me through your experiences with the league and what it's meant to you here as you reach 300, this 300 game start milestone.
Yeah, kind of fitting that the bowling guy goes and is the first to reach 300, huh?
Fair enough.
Took my pun, thanks.
But I mean, the Mr. 300 had already been thrown around a little bit. But yeah, it's been a long run. Since second tournament, I only missed the first one. Who would have thought that losing that first playing game to Dark in 5 games after being up 2-0 would have led to 300 games total between regular season and playoffs. Obviously going to have a lot of work to do to get to the playoffs again for that 3rd straight year. But realistically, I've taken the stance that I can't even worry about that. Just going to have to take each match one game at a time and just kind of what happens. If the bot is favorable to me, great. If not, it's been a solid run.
All right, thank you, Sandfer. I'm going to quickly forward this message here into the channel. We'll play on stream. You could feel free to listen to that here, and we'll give maybe a few more thoughts from you and some from Seth as well. So let me forward this message here, and then we'll play it on stream.
My main man, Charles Jolinardi Sanford. What's going on, Uncle Sanford, as the kids say, but I always know you as Enter Sandman. What's good, Sandman? Congratulations on being now Mr. 300th career game all time. Before you start this game one, I wanted to give you the best and wish you the best energy towards this series. Yeah, it hasn't been the resurrection of Sanford as we always know and love from the past 2 seasons, but you're still in the hunt. Long way to go in this game and this series, of course. A lot can happen. It's T5. And as they say in bowling, that 300 is magical because it's a perfect game. Let's see if you can deliver a perfect game today against Brad and move on and keep your SL dreams alive. Sorry I couldn't be here once again. Keep grinding, keep pushing.
Okay, I mean, you even see it here in the message, he mentions bowling as well, so that is going to be a bit of a theme here with this 300th game start. But Seth, I mean, your thoughts on Sandfer getting to 300 here, what his career has been to this point, and just your general thoughts here, what this game will mean for him, not only for his career, but also in this series here, as it's going to be in an interesting spot. Game one, this really could open up the momentum here in both a good and bad way for Sandford.
Yeah, one thing he said when you asked him about that 300 starts that kind of resonated with me, and I've heard a lot of people talking about it, was taking it one game at a time. One thing we have to remember with Charles having 300 starts going all the way back as he has, there's been a huge period of adaptation for him. We've gone through numerous adaptations of this bot. We've gone through adaptations of the experience levels. In my opinion, here in 2025, we've seen maybe the narrowest experience level in D1 in recent memory. All those periods of adaptation, I think, have just made Charles a stronger player. And while you heard there from that KT message, there's been the ups and downs here this season. He's still in the hunt. So the adaptation is still there. He has found ways to scratch and claw and keep himself in the conversation. And so here today, going up against an equally experienced player in Brad, it will be interesting to see if Charles is able to stay the course he's been on here with this momentum, or will there be another adjustment, another period of adaptation as he tries to take another step closer to Super League?
Yep. Again, that adaptation is going to be important here. We have heard before from Sanford he likes to experiment here, but definitely with where he is at the moment, I'm not really sure if we're going to see that much with it unless he gets maybe an early lead here. But who knows? Maybe he could also throw in a few curveballs here to throw Brad off. We'll have to find out. But with that out of the way, I think we are good to start Sanford's 300th game here and get this series rolling. Sky's our referee. Brad will actually have the start here, so Sanford no choice in the 300th start here. But Brad, you got the game one call. What will it be? All right, 12. So Sky will put that
Nice
in.
little even dozen.
All right. And Steven 6 is going to be the starter here on yellow.
Interesting to see here too. From what I remember from Brad, he's one of those rapid fire players, but it's like he's taking a little time here, observing what he's got, and now he'll fire off here with the Acosta 9. So the style of play will be interesting to kind of see how it either conflicts or meshes here between these two.
Immediate ditto here to start things off here. So Sandfer trying to match Brad to kick off the series.
12 card start as well, so big opportunity where you're going to have to rely on the number efficiency in the early going, but you have a better percentage opportunity of getting some glean, maybe some very helpful ammo that you can use near the end. We'll have to see if there's a point where either of these two guys end up finding themselves boxed in where they have to use the ammo maybe a little earlier than planned.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we had the switch here to green after the ditto on the 9s, but now we're going into blue. So just kind of exploring the colors here early on.
Yeah, not necessarily rapid fire like changes, as you say, but exploring. We're searching right now.
Yeah, and well, I mean, we go back to yellow now, so Sanford has some more on yellow here. We'll see how Brad likes that, whether he wants to go somewhere else or if he'll stick with the yellow a little longer here.
Brad did the fade off of yellow into green. So yeah, this is Charles trying to see if he can exploit a opportunity here. But Brad had some yellow in reserve as well. So we're seeing already some early fades from both of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, another thing also, we're running all numbers here so far, so I'm wondering if this is going to be a game where you just try to get rid of the numbers, and then it's going to be a run to the finish here. We have seen that a few times before in some of these past series this tournament, so might need to keep an eye out for that, but again, no ammo early on.
As you say, with running numbers, if there is ammunition there, we're knotted at 7 apiece. Okay, so Brad's going to draw back, but I was going to say, even when we get down to the 6, 7, 8 cards, we cannot leave out the possibility of a potential run to the finish. We've seen runs from that far back.
Yeah, I mean, even then, last night, game 1, I had a 9-card run to the finish here, so it really could happen anywhere, but Sanford still has the yellow and is looking to keep things rolling. Brad probably looking for a switch here, or maybe got something fortunate on that top deck.
The type here, so I'd assume that he probably has the light switch here.
Well, he has a skip.
Well, might have gotten a top deck there. Maybe for a swap around.
Ooh, well, here's the
Oh,
run.
wow. Hold on, did he get the one card he needed here? This would have been from 8 cards back. Nope, he's going to cap it off there with the area green 1, but that's a big play there from Brad after having to be one of the first ones on the drawback. Plus he sets Charles back too.
Yeah, that's looking like a reverse top deck there, either yellow or green, or maybe even could be the green one. He doesn't really have anything else. Maybe just trying to throw Sanford back a little bit. We'll have to see, but Brad is down to 3 cards, and we'll see how Sanford's going to respond to this one now. We are back to green. Still no red so far. It's been the only card we haven't seen yet.
Ammo used there as well by Brad. You have to wonder if this is potentially split ammo with 3 cards left. Does he have maybe another wild +4 back there? Maybe a little bit more reverse skip meta here to close it out. That's why I think we're seeing Charles take his time here trying to figure out if that is the case, and does he want to play it cool or does he want to play something defensive here? Maybe try and call Brad's bluff.
Well, we'll see, but Sanford is taking a second to think about this. Again, was kind of in a good spot after Brad had the draw on the yellow, but now kind of gets thrown back into a bit of a precarious situation. And just as I say, we're not seeing red. Sanford slices his cards in half down to 4, and we go into red.
Follow him there. 2 away. Charles at 4, though. He initiated over to red, so this could be Charles opening something up. Oh, he'll bring it back to yellow.
Does Brad have
That'd
the
be an
option here?
ISO play.
I mean, Brad drew on the yellow here. Does he have the option? He has a crossover in the blue.
Whoa, ho, ho, ho. The number efficiency.
Might have been what he wanted. Or is that what Sanford wanted? Does Sanford have one more crossover to finish, steal the game on his own? Actually does. Yeah, wow.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Wow.
actually, the blue ends up giving that one because wouldn't have been able to finish it on the yellow, would have had to play the wild, but yeah, I mean, that is quite the opener. Sanford, I mean, walk me through that one. got in an early advantage, got thrown back a little bit, and then just kind of held the ammo to the end and was able to get it rolling. But I am curious what the +2 gave you, because definitely was able to get out and escape a potential finish from Brad.
The +2 dragged it out a little bit longer, is what I will say.
I see.
I had it until the +2.
All right, interesting. We'll go to Brad. I mean, I'm curious, what was the last card for Brad? Would have won. He stayed on blue. Interesting. I guess for Brad, what was the last card there? Whether the blue would have been the win or not, or if it was just not meant to be. I am curious on that one.
Yeah, it's just a blue number.
Okay. I mean, any thoughts on that one, Seth? I mean, the only thing Brad could have done to win that one is power play, but I think game 1 power play, that could be a bit too early to use, so don't really necessarily blame him for not going for it there. But your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I don't blame him either, because he had the possession advantage at that point in time. You know, there's always the threat there could be the run on the other side, but what if there isn't? If you use the power play, you don't have it for the rest of the series. It's pretty much gone. So, yeah, I don't blame him with not really knowing for absolute certainty if Charles had a run or not for not using the power play. I was kind of curious. He obviously answered the question there with having another blue number. When he ended up making the swap over to blue, I wondered if maybe he might have had a red that he was going to have to try and get back to. But no, we talked about how even these two guys are. We got down to the wire with them here in this first game. I think this is just a precursor, just showing what we can expect from these upcoming games. You said it has all the feeling. The CPU also predicts it going into a 7-game series. I get that sense here as well.
All right, well, I don't got much else to add, so we can jump into game 2 here. Brad will still have the call, and it's still a free board here, but we'll see what he does here. Gonna go 1 up to 13. All right, and another number start, this time blue 1.
Something we'll have to remember here as well for the future is, since Brad didn't win on the 12 card start there for his initial home game, opportunity to revisit that 12 card start if he wants to later on in this series.
We'll see if he decides to go back there at some point, but with the loss on that one, definitely could deter it a little bit, but we'll see if going a little higher can help out as we start with the blue 4. Blue 5. I mean, Sandfer has kind of been just kind of, in some ways, following in line with Brad for what his opener is. First game was the ditto, this one just going 1 up, so wondering if maybe Sanford's trying to just play in line and then jump out when he sees the opportunity.
Possibly, but going off the statistics so far from game 1 here into game 2, Charles has initiated color swaps 2-1 on Brad as far as the ratio. So, while to your point, he has been kind of following suit, he has also been making a lot of the initiations over for the color swaps.
I mean, definitely, and I mean, I think for Brad, a lot of what he's been trying to do is just kind of play the color, and I think for Sanford, it's just kind of staying in line until he has that opportunity to jump out. So, Brad draws here, so another second game in a row. Brad's the first to draw. Sanford's still able to play the yellow. I actually think both draws have happened on yellow here, so this yellow not really working out too well for Brad at the moment.
And as opposed to the first game, it was one drawback on yellow for Brad. Now he's having to continue to draw back. He was able to find a light switch after the first draw. Charles will bail him out though, so bring it into green. So this will free Brad up a little bit now.
Yep, like a G6. We go into green. As you mentioned, should free up Brad here, but I mean, this is kind of playing out somewhat similar to the first game where we're just running the numbers here, and there is that looming threat of just a run to the finish with the ammo.
Yeah, and surprisingly, there with that ammo back in the first game, there wasn't a single wild +4 that was played. There was one wild that was played. It was really just the reverse skip meta. So, we'll see if that's going to be the same deal here, or will there be a slightly different read on both sides?
Sanford going for the light switch here, going into red. So now trying to play a little bit offhanded here. We'll see if he keeps it red. He will. So it's another
Plays his own
6 from
card.
Sandfer. And yes, his own card. But that's another 6 from Sandfer, so maybe a few 6s in his hand at the moment.
It's that poker type hand that can make you dangerous in terms of light switches there. Been in red for quite a while here after Charles initiated it earlier on, so I think if we're looking at that one color they were both very happy to start whittling down and getting rid of, it would be the red right at the moment.
Yeah, red 7 there. Sanford's typing with 5 cards. I'm wondering if this is the run.
B.
Yeah, that's probably gonna do
Oh,
it.
has to be.
Green skip, and that should wrap it up. He is down to 2. Blue skip. Just gonna go the slow casual stroll down the alley, and that's gonna do it.
Wow.
2-0 Sandford at the moment. He's won both games off a run to the end. This one at 5 card. Yeah, that's also the first +4 of the series, but I mean, so far, Sandford, you've just kind of been able to do what you need to do, kind of plan A in a way. But no self draws thus far. I guess just walk me through that hand and your feelings when you saw it and just rolling through that one.
I mean, you kind of mentioned it. I did have trip 6, so that was the only real decision that had to be made, was did I go to green first or red? I chose to go to green first because the idea would be if he didn't play a number I had, I could do the skip into the red wild. Knowing that I had the +2 if I really needed to be bailed out. The end of it was actually more, I was willing to open it up for him to do defensive power play. Just to kind of use it. I just didn't want him to use it while on the +2.
All right. But yeah, Sanford up 2-0 here. So again, 300th and 301st starts, both with wins. Brad still looking to get that 100th win and just get one on the board here. Brad, any takeaways from that one, or was it, as you mentioned after the game, had nothing?
I mean, like, I could have made. Well, I had a wild, but like, I don't think that would have done much because he had a wild and a +4. I don't really know. I don't think I could have won that.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess the Wild could do some stuff. I mean, again, when you have the +4 and that big run there, it's gonna be a little tough. But for Brad, homestand doesn't quite go the way he wants. Seth, any comments on that one? I mean, I think Sanford just kind of ran with his starting hands, and that was it. But with the flip to Sanford now having the homestand, do you think this could be an away side series and maybe Brad could get some momentum in Game 3?
Could very well. Just quickly going back there to Brad talking about playing the wild. The only thing that I could have seen, I don't know if Charles would have done it or not, is if he had played the wild and been able to find it into yellow, that would have forced Charles to more than likely have to use a power play to be able to link all those cards together, because he would have had the outline red +2 or an outline green skip, whichever he would have chosen to swap the +4 color over to. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if it ends up being trending where the away team ends up winning here. I think that this is going to be not necessarily a must win, but definitely I think that Brad wants to get a game back here in at least one of these two away stands here for two reasons. Number one, keep yourself in the conversation, but I think more importantly, too, we've seen here in these first two games, he's wanted to go to that high tier at the 12 and the 13 card start. They haven't worked out for him. He doesn't want to get swept. If we can get to that game 5, do we see him continue to stay in that upper tier where it's been a little bit lopsided in terms of ammo? Charles has been able to have a lot more ammunition than Brad has. Looking right now, it looks like Brad's had a total of 4 action cards played so far here in these first two games. So if he's able to get back to a homestand here in Game 5, does he swap it up is going to be interesting. Another thing that's going to be interesting for me is we talk about Mr. 300 with 300 starts here for Charles. We know as a bowler you want to avoid the 7-10 split, so if we see him call a 7 or a 10 for a start, I'll be very surprised.
Is that you asking me for the start?
No, I'm just predicting. I'm looking to see if you stay true to a bowler.
Well, I've got the Xfinity race on. They're about ready to go into caution.
Yeah, they already are.
Oh, I'm on YouTube TV. Okay, because yeah, 91 was in the gravel. Yay.
Yeah. You can't pick 91. That's not mathematically possible here in Uno, so.
If we're ready for the cards, I can give it. I just didn't know if I was waiting for the right cue.
I just realized I had my mic lowered, but anyways,
Oh.
yeah, Sandfer. Anyways, Sandfer, you got the homestand now. You have the game 3 call, no 12, no 13. Where are you headed?
We can keep in the same general area. We'll go 11.
All right.
All right, well,
Going
that is
for
an
11.
illegal bowling pin formation. There's one extra in there that shouldn't be there.
We
It's
we
the
can
one
just
that's
we can just
standing
sneak
up
it
in
in
the
there.
gutter.
Yeah. If it goes up on the scoreboard as 11, people are going to give you a really dirty look.
All right. Well, ammo start here with the red reverse. We'll see if Sandford tries to go on an early run here. We have not seen any runs outside of the finish, or pretty much the finish here. I mean, Sandford had a 4-card run, towards the end of game 1 that wasn't a finish, but most of these runs so far have been towards the finish. But won't go on it, and that's another 6, and that's once again his card.
Yep, caps it off there. We've seen in the last week or so, I've seen more people play off of an action card on the start than normal. Normally, you end up having either a drawback or capping it off as Charles did there, but Brad immediately with the light switch over there into green, so might be trying to fade off some red there in the early going.
All right, well, switch from Brad here is working out so far as we are sticking with green at the moment. Again, Brad probably looking for something here to get some momentum on his side, get one on the board here. As he does not want to go down 3-0 here in this series and be forced to make a reverse sweep.
Yeah, looking for a little bit more ammunition on his side as well, which Charles a little bit obliging in that with being in the upper tier again, gives that opportunity. Charles has been pretty lucky with the ammo distribution in these first 2 starts, and little check there. Little +2 to give him a little bit of leverage, a little bit of distance in terms of the possession here.
Just gonna quickly pull up a stat here. Just give me a second.
The green 0 tough to swap off of, but Charles is just 1 up there to the Aria green 1.
Another
And
draw there from
Brad's
Brad.
iced.
3rd game in a row. He's the first to draw there, but Sandford with the switch here. I mean, we're talking about the ammo here. I mean, Brad's ammo season average on the ammo is 38.9, which could get a bit skewed because of the best of 9s and longer series and whatnot, but still, only to have 4 thus far, it's going to put him in a really tough spot.
I think if he's got any ammunition, you gotta maybe start considering it right now. If you're Brad, Charles has been able to, with that double play, draw you back by 2 cards. Brad, as we mentioned, had to draw first again here in game 3. Charles is down to 5. We've seen him have some monster runs here to close out these first 2 games.
Now, there's the wild there from Sandford. I mean, you're seeing some of this ammo come out now. I will mention this, though. His average is 38.9 on the season for Brad, but his last 2 games, his average is 19. So, a little bit of a downtick there. And this could be another downtick here, but Brad with the wilds here, and that's going to ice out Sandford.
Nice play. Nice play utilizing that wild, not allowing Charles to establish the color they go into, instead bringing him back and now trying to see if maybe see how much more red Brad can possibly run with, or was this to force them into a double draw city?
I think with 9 cards, Brad will have something on the red here, but again, a bit of a precarious spot, but having that draw is huge from
Whoa.
Sandford, but ooh, 4-bagger there with a +2 as well. Now I'll give Brad the lead.
Yep. Whittles his hand down and sets Charles back too. That's a huge play right there. A good momentum shift.
All right, well, we saw a lot in game one. The +2 threw Sandfer back a bit in a bad way, but he was still able to recover the win. We'll see if it does the same here, and this time Brad can get the edge, but actually runs himself out on blue. So that +2 ends up being more of a defensive option as Sanford self-dittos. I mean, these 6s are coming towards him left, right, and center.
This is the second time that Brad's had a monster run. I think it was a trips play back in game one in red, and it depleted him of all of his red. He then had to draw back afterwards. So that's the second time he's done that there. I don't know if that's a sense of desperation or if that's a sense of realizing he was going to have to draw back. So if I hit him with a +2 during that chain, that at least is going to give me maybe a little bit of leverage.
We'll see. Brad, the switch to yellow is going to help Brad a little bit here, but we'll see. This is the color Sanford originally wanted, so he's going to power play here, and this is not looking good for Brad here at the moment. Yellow 2, probably going to be a finish here. We are looking just under 5 minutes. Maybe a little bit over 5 minutes.
Yellow, or will he wrap around to another color is going to be the question here.
Yep, in the red. 504.
Brings it back to where we started.
Yeah, thank you for the red 0. Actually, he gave me the 0 and the 6.
0 and the skip. Okay, so again, kind of.
No, he gave me the 0 and the 6. The blue 6.
Oh, the 0 and the blue 6. Okay. Well, yeah, 504, and it's not looking good for Brad here. No power play from Sandfer though.
Enough, but... I was wishing I almost would have. I was wishing I would have almost drawn instead of playing the wild at first, because go figure, when he played the red wild, I drew the red reverse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh sure, okay. First card off the top of the deck was already going to be that red reverse I needed as the connector.
Yeah. I mean, besides that, I don't really got much. I mean, I'm looking at the stats here. I mean, I think the minimal cards, and also you kind of look at the self-drawings to there. I mean, that's kind of telling a bit of the story of the series here. A lot of his starting hands just kind of rolling well. Sandford be able to make the correct calls to prevent him from drawing and then just get close to the end and then get that run to the finish. Seth, I mean, your thoughts here. Brad had the wild in this one. Besides that 3-card run, really just throwing out anything he can, and unfortunately, just nothing really sticking at the moment.
Yeah, the tough thing for him that we've been seeing here in these first 3 games is he's been having to use his ammunition cards in a sense defensively. He's not been able to go on the offense. Been the first one to draw back in these first 3 games, and he's just not been able to find those connector cards. We've seen he's had some pretty decent ammo if he can just find a couple of connecting ammo cards to pair with it. But these drawbacks have not been giving him exactly what he needs. So, which is a little surprising, especially when we're in these higher tier starts. So, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously got to be a huge momentum shift here for Brad. I think that more than likely, we've only seen here in, what would this be, 36 cards on each side in 3 games. So we're talking 72 cards on the start of these first 3 games, and only 1 wild +4 has been played. I feel like as we start to tiptoe into the second half of this series, they're gonna start coming out here. They're gonna be like big, huge momentum difference on whether Charles is gonna be able to close this thing out, or if Brad's gonna be able to start trying to mount a comeback here. The one key thing for Brad is Charles doesn't have his power play. So if Brad's able to find himself a chain of maybe 1 or 2 games here where he can use wild +4s to be able to claw back a couple of these games and still keep the power play in his hip pocket, that could make things very important going maybe into a game 6 or 7.
I mean, that is a good point with that, but the +4s really have not shown up so far. Only one, Sandford, had it. But I mean, you mentioned going into the second half. I mean, I think the biggest concern for Brad here is, are we entering the last quarter? Which is not what he wants here. He needs to put some life back into this one, and probably from his perspective, get some more life in his starting hands here, as he is not really able to find the connectors here. May have like 1 or 2 bits of ammo, but this has been a connection-based series throughout, and Sandford has just been able to find these connections everywhere, and that's why he's up 3-0. But, yeah, I don't got much else. We'll go to game 4 here. Sandfer, you are 1 away from the win. Just can't pick 12, 11, 12, 13. I guess the question now is, where do you go from here?
Okay. Well, there's some thought that's gone into this one. Might be a problem. But we started off with the idea of the bowling theme with 300. I have 2 career 299s. Let's go with one of the pins that's denied me a 300 before. 6 pin. 6 count.
That's actually interesting. That's not the way I thought Sandfer was going to go with that one, but he's going to flip it to the other side of the board here with the low card start, and we start with a yellow 5.
I thought he was gonna say that pesky 5 pin. That's always been my Achilles heel. It's like that big bowling middle finger there in the middle of the lane.
I thought Sandfer was going to go with 14 or 15. This high tier has worked for him so far, but trying to go for a bit of a gamble here with the 6. But I mean, with how these starting hands have gone, maybe this works out for him. Because Brad is not really being able to find much, but maybe this is actually the change that Brad needs. We'll see.
Could very well. And you have to wonder too, if Brad's able to win here in lower tier, he'll have the next homestand. Does he maybe go back down to lower tier? Will he go back up to his comfort level there in the upper tiers? He's got a lot of options there. With Charles winning on 11, 12, 13, Brad still has those opportunities should he choose so. If we get to that game 5, is a little check there.
Brad halfway home here for game 4. +2 is going to give him a definitive lead.
Now we see what Charles might have gotten on the return to that +2.
Really just trying to close this one out.
Those ammo cards here in the lower card starts 5 through 7. You got to get a little bit worried on what the return possibly could be, because if you don't play that +2, if you just play the regular 8, there could be an ISO on the other side already. Now you open up the door potentially for some options with those 2 fresh cards.
We'll see, and oh wow, Sandfer is just gonna pretty much erase that lead, and now he's back down to 3, and we switch into yellow. That's right back into yellow as well.
Yeah, after Brad swapped off of it. So does Brad have an answer to maybe get it back to blue, find it to a different color, or has Charles found a way to ice Brad out for a 4th straight game?
I'm gonna wonder here. Brad is typing, so he may have something, or this could just be agony here. Goes back into
On his
blue.
way back.
We have been playing 2 color in this one.
And he
Sandfer
found
is
the
out.
ice.
That could be big. That could lead to Brad maybe getting on the board here. This would be number 100.
Good number efficiency there from Brad.
Wild yell, that's check, and I think with how this
Oh.
has gone, that should do it, unless Sandfer got something big on the top deck.
Well, remember, Charles wrapped it back around to yellow, and then Brad swapped it back to blue. So did Charles have ammo in yellow he was trying to get to?
I think if a +4 comes out, that might have been a top deck, but
Yeah.
Insanely clutch. Maybe gets the like Uno here. No, it's just gonna be a yell reverse,
Nope.
and yeah, that'll do it.
That's gonna do it, yeah. Boy, that light switch with the M blue 6, that was the difference maker right there, I think.
Yeah, I mean that is gonna be number 100 here, so we'll get to Brad for that one. But I'll start with Sandfer here. You mentioned insanely clutch on that one. Do you want to walk through what the ending was on that one? Because the +2 definitely blocked you from getting a finish potentially.
I mean, yep, as is pointed out, didn't like the power play use. If I had in there, I win the game because of that.
Oh my god.
That was what, if he didn't +2. So
I think that
I mean, I'll let that sit there. That's
and Brad with the +2 coming in at the right time for that one, because I mean that is again Sandfer with some crazy connections there, but these +2s have found a way to diffuse the situation for at least a little bit, and this time it's gonna work out. But Brad, you're on the board. You got win number 100. What does this win mean to you, to be in this 100 win club, but also with how this series has gone so far, to get on the board and possibly shift the momentum your way?
I'm glad I could get one game at least. That's my 100th win all time. That's nice. But yeah, it's my home game next. I have the power play still. I didn't want to use it there because then I'd be down 3-1 still and it wouldn't matter. So I knew I had to save it because like even if I use it there, I'd probably still lose the series. So like I'm glad I won that game at least. I'm glad I got some ammo at least finally. Like if I lost that game, I would have been so mad, but glad I won.
All right, Seth. I mean, any thoughts on that one? Brad getting the win and then just getting 100 as well.
Yeah, nice little tidy package there, right? Keeps his hopes alive here. I mean, he has some life. He, as he said, gets this next homestand as well, so he'll have the possession control, the possession arrow. He'll get to determine what he wants for the starting card count. And as he said, he was able to win this game and still keep his power play intact, which could be a huge difference maker if he's able to even draw it back up 3-2. Then you got that power play to be able to try and knot it up 3-3 going into game 7, maybe both depleted of a power play. So he also mentioned about getting that ammunition here too, which we talk about is extremely rare but very helpful when we're in low tier card starts. It's going to be interesting to see here what he does for this call. I'm not exactly sure where his mindset will be on where he wants to have this start here for the homestand, but I think there's going to be some strategy played into that as well.
All right. Well, before we get into Game 5, we have a quick voice message here from KT, which I'm going to forward now. We'll play this one on stream. Brad, feel free to listen to this one. I'll maybe ask one more question before we jump to Game 5.
Bad Brad, what's going on, brother? KT, man, sorry I couldn't be at your 100th career game victory, the baddest in them all, the absolute legend of T3, whether it was the Masquerade May Triumph or the Movie May Cinemas. You took care of business and got done with an average of 1.5. While you're not locked in the Super League, you still got to keep fighting. This is Charles Sandfer. He's not no easy opponent. They don't call him Mr. 300 for nothing. But keep fighting, brother. Thank you so much for transforming this league. You're one of the best to ever do it. On and off the table, in my humble opinion. Patience styles, ammo control, anything and everything. You've always delivered in the clutch. Keep going, brother, and keep fighting.
All right, there's KT here, and Brad, I'm going to ask you this. I guess what does it mean for you in general to get to 100 in terms of the league? You've been here since 2024, and just your thoughts overall on your experience here thus far.
100 wins. That's so crazy. It's been a long time. 2 whole years basically at this point. I'm so glad I could be here. So glad I could play so much. Feels nice.
All right. Short and simple. And again, I think for Brad, he is still locked into trying to get this reverse sweep here. So, we'll let him do that. Going to Game 5. Brad has the call here. Going to try to mount this comeback here. What will the call be? Just can't pick any. Just can't pick 6. Okay, 14. Seth, thoughts on this one?
Little surprised, honestly. We ended up having 11 through 13, and Charles was able to go 3-0 in that. We go down to lower tier, and Brad was able to find ammunition where he had, for the most part, been depleted on it with the higher card starts. So I kind of almost wondered if he might try and stay down in that lower tier, if not lower mid tier. So the fact he's going back up there, just one down from a full send, little surprising there. I guess maybe since he's got the power play still, that gives him a little bit of a luxury to still go up there to upper tier, but he's gonna certainly have to hope that the ammo distribution is at least evened out, if not more in his advantage here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if 14 was what I would have gone with how this series has gone so far, but Brad has the confidence in it. We'll see how it goes. This is starting out kind of similar to those other higher tier games. I mean, 11's more of a mid tier, but I guess the higher tiers with the number runs to start out. But interesting call there. We'll see how it all plays out here. But Brad switching, initializing the first switch here as we go into blue.
And we've talked about the experience level, the number of games these two have played. I mean, Brad winning his 100th game. You have to have a lot of Uno games under your belt to reach an accolade like that. So I'm sure that at some point in his career, he's been in this situation where he's kind of fighting from behind. And maybe in those points, he ended up going to the upper tier. It worked out for him, maybe calling back on that experience.
All right, well, red 7, there's a switch from Sandfer. I mean, again, pulling up the stats once again. Sandfer's been doing most of these switches here, so adding some more to that tally. But, I mean, you also look at the ammo thus far. Sandfer leading in all categories but the +2s, but there's a 3-2 difference here. Brad looking to flip the script here. Get some more on this side. Maybe even a +4 as well, because we have only seen one +4 this entire series as
Crazy.
Sandfer with a early +2 here.
Little check there from Charles to try and see if he can shift the possession into his favor now. Put Brad a little bit more on the back foot there. Maybe in a sense, get himself down there to where he could force Brad to maybe have to use his power play here. I know Brad would love to hold on to that as long as he possibly can, but there's always that question of how long is too long as well. We've seen games here in Toxic 32. We've seen games back in the round of 64, where an individual wants to hold on to that power play for maybe a game 6, maybe a game 7, and we don't get there, and that power play is rendered null and void.
Yeah, that's another thing you got to consider also when you have your back against the wall here. Whether you go for it early or you have the confidence to hold it till game 7, like some people have. But I think recently we've seen a lot more people try to use the power play a bit earlier in the series rather than just hold it to end it. So, we'll have to see how that plays out for Brad, because for him it's going to be important he doesn't let it go to waste.
Aggressive light switching right here. Trips 8, crazy 8s.
Quad,
Actually, no,
quad,
it's
well,
quad
quad
8.
8 at quad 8 actually, not a rainbow, no yellow, and Sanford's out on yellow or red, not yellow, red. We haven't seen yellow yet. And I mean, again, we've seen this so far. The first person to draw in the game is the one who loses it, so maybe that's a good sign for Brad.
Yeah, such a weird trend, right? We'll have to see if it holds true here. Brad going to continue to run in the red here, just looking for that number efficiency, not allow Charles to be able to light switch, which he'll do. So this, in a sense, kind of negates the +2 that Charles hit him with, because now Charles is having to draw back while Brad's able to play.
Again, Brad slowly but surely working through the numbers here. Sandford keeps drawing on this red here, looking for that switch most likely. But we'll see how he responds here. Alright, there's the switch. We go into green.
Yep, finds a way out. We were only in green for a spell, as we did green to start it off, and then we had that crazy 8s there with one green. Oh! Wow. Okay, so Brad, this is obviously a sign he's out of green, as he'll use the wild to get over to blue, and
Ooh, wow.
Charles wraps it around back to green.
Gonna deny it, and that's gonna probably force Brad's hand here, potentially. Yeah, maybe not a good situation for Brad here. I mean, that 3-card run is actually going to give Sanford the lead here, and a draw is not going to help, but maybe gets a switch. No, he has another wild here. We go back to blue. He wants it. He wants it.
Had
And he's
another
gonna get
one
it.
loaded up in the chamber.
And that's a draw from Sanford, so now he's down to 2-color pretty much.
Again, we're seeing just the regular wilds. We haven't seen the kill shot +4s yet. I almost wonder, I mean, obviously Brad's trying to get over to blue, as we see there with the double play, but I almost wonder if he feels comfortable playing these regular wilds, if he maybe has a +4 available for the kill shot, and these are just the feeders into that potential run.
Well, this is rolling pretty well for Brad at the moment here. Sandfer continues to draw on the blue. Brad looking to wrap this one up. Gets a switch into yellow here, so not quite a finish on the blue, but he is doing what he needs to do to get to his finish potentially. But that does open up Sandfer potentially for a response.
This is also Pandora's box. It's taken us this long to get to yellow.
We'll see how this does change the series here. We'll see if Sandfer... What? Oh, well, I now I know what you said. But Sandfer going with the 9. We'll see if Brad keeps it rolling on the yellow. Is typing. Maybe could have a finish here. We'll see. No, he's gonna ditto it.
Ditto play. Okay. Yeah, I
And
wondered
that's
there the
the
3 cards he initiate over to yellow if maybe he had a finish, but apparently not.
that's the second time yellow 9 has been a ditto as well. First one happened in the first play of the series.
Do we see a +4 finish here? Those 2 wilds, did they set up for a wild +4? Be only the second one we've seen so far in this series.
Yes, it will.
There it is.
Oh, and
He
another
had
wild as well.
3 regular wilds. Holy cow.
And Brad
fair
actually,
enough.
Brad getting up on the wild stat here, but also getting up on the board here. That's his second. 3 and a wilds and +4 off the start, and maybe
Here's Monkey.
triple wild, a triple wild happened last night. A triple +4 happened last night as well. Me versus Tago. So that's the second one we've seen in the last 24 hours. But although Tago's was wild, but I mean, Brad 2 on the board here. Momentum maybe shifting towards your side. We know we were a little bit a little not concerned, a little bit confused on the 14, but it does work out there. But your thoughts here, looking to bring yourself back into the series, and you still have the power play. Won 2 games straight without power play with your back against the wall.
So yeah, I finally got him there. Like I knew with that hand I had to win. Like, and I did. Like I also didn't want to use power play because I knew like once Sandfer drew that first red, like I knew I could win that game. And like I knew I shouldn't power play there. Maybe I could use it this game. I don't know. I have 2 more games I have to win.
All right. Well, Sam, for any comments here as Brad looking to shift the momentum here, you don't have your power play, but you do have the game 6 call. Your thoughts going into this one to try to wrap this one up quickly and not have a game 7 occur?
I could have dragged that game out a little longer if I wanted to, but being up 3-1, I wasn't overly worried about it. Figured I'd play it as best I could for trying to win the game as opposed to just playing stall tactic.
All right. Well, thank you, Sanford. Seth, your thoughts here as Brad in a good spot here to possibly keep things rolling, because if he gets this game 6 win, the reverse sweep is potentially imminent here.
Yeah, I think having that power play available here, if you're in a position where you can get yourself a 4, 5, 6 card run, I think you're almost obligated to use it here and now because you want to at least force into a game 7. I know you'd love to be able to just win that 6th game outright, have the power play advantage into the final game, but there's not a guarantee we're going to get to that final game. And so I think you have to control what you can control. And if the power play is the path to get you to that final game, I think you're probably going to have to use it. Also, tremendous amount of patience there out of Brad as well. Yes, he had the kill shot +4 at the end, but 3 regular wilds, that's a tremendous amount of responsibility of figuring out exactly when to play those because you could end up having a situation where you have a choice with the wild of determining what color to go into. With those 3 wilds, it took a long, long time for him to initially bring us over to that Pandora's box in yellow. So that was, I think, a great job of making sure that he pretty much waited till the very end. He used those wilds, I think it was to bring it back to blue to ice Charles out, and didn't step into yellow realizing that that was the color that Charles was trying to get to. So a tremendous amount of patience there with that ammunition, and The ammo distribution the pendulum started to shift a little bit here. We'll have to see. With that being said, it'll be interesting to see what Charles has for his final homestand. Does he do something to try and deplete that ammunition, or does he play back into it, as it obviously was successful for him back in those first 3 games?
Yep, we'll see, but this game 6 is going to be pretty crucial here. Let's just jump into it here. Sandfer, you got the game 6 call, no 11, 12, 13. What will it be?
Well, ironically enough, 14 was what I was thinking about doing if losing game 5 there, but he did that, so he can't beat me to it. There would be the thought of could do the bowling theme again, but the 10 pin's a terrible thing to try and shoot at. So let's go for 15, full send it.
Don't
Alright,
remind me about
there's
the
your
10 pin either.
Alright, there's your full send. If Brad wins this one, there'll be no full send for game 7, and another reverse one. Blue reversed. Had a reverse start in game 3.
Yeah, another Charles home game, and he capped it off in that one. Let's see if he does the same here.
Also did use the power play in that one as well. Do we get a flip side with maybe Brad using it?
Good point.
Again, similar to game 3, will not go on the run here. Just going to play a number here, and it's going to be a blue too.
Yeah, plays Brad's own card right there. I mean, both these two guys, you heard it there with KT's message when Brad hit 100 wins. Both of these guys, we've seen it here today, obviously with all their experience, very good at ammo control. So, with it being a full send, we're just going to kind of be sitting here. It's like watching those commercials at the beginning of a movie, waiting for the main event to start. We're gonna have to kind of sit patiently here and wait for this number efficiency, whittling down these number cards before we see those big ammo cards start coming out.
Well, again, Sanford, both have had one switch so far. Brad went to red, now Sanford goes in the green. This is kind of what you see sometimes with the full sends. You kind of go around the deck with the colors, just trying to explore, see what the other has. I've always said worst spot to be in is be the first one to draw on a full send here. And I mean, with how this series has gone so far, you do not want to be the first one to draw with the first what's it called, with the first 5 games, the first person to draw losing in all of them. So
Such a weird trend. I don't think I've ever actually seen that happen in a series before. But you're right, we're 5 for 5 in that happening here in this one.
yeah, it is the early disadvantage when you draw, but typically, but Wild's blue. We've seen a lot of wild blues so far. We've seen a lot of that very peculiar KT image. I'm really not sure why I decided to go with that one in this tournament of all things. I wonder if he doesn't know the original meme with that as well.
I don't know. It's interesting he uses the wild to swap over there into blues, so I think that's a telltale sign here that Charles is currently 2-color blue and yellow, because Brad did the initial swap off of, or no, Charles, I'm sorry, did the initial swap off of red into green, and Brad brought it back to red. So see what Brad does with that information here.
Yeah, I feel like Sanford's been playing so many 6s in this series here, but Brad's actually going to capitalize and get the switch to yellow.
Double checking, I believe this is our first venture into yellow. Yes, it is.
Yeah, look at the card history here. That is Pandora's, so again, both players just kind of rolling through with it right now. Sanford with the lead, but we haven't really seen any ammo thus far besides the wild.
Pace is back down a little bit here in this game too. A little bit more consideration going in. Both of them, these first 5 games have been rather rapid style. Now we're having little pauses now and then. Maybe trying to figure out not only this current play, but plan for 1-2 plays ahead. Trying to figure out what's on the other side. Am I establishing what I need, and not at the same time helping out the other side with the path that they need as well? With the full send, And the potential of both sides having a lot of ammunition, you got to take every single one of these future moves into consideration.
Ooh, +6 here from Brad. And now we go into red. So that throws Sandfer back to 13. Brad down to 5.
Gonna go
There's
half
the
off into
draw.
the pure red.
It's, based off the trends, that's not good for Brad here. He's going to have to break it now.
Yep.
I'm wondering maybe he knows that, maybe that's why he went for the +6 early there.
Could very well be. More than likely doesn't have those wilds that he had the benefit of getting right off the draw in the 5th game. Now looking for number efficiency to get it over out of red. Oh, there's a bailout maybe there from Charles.
Ooh, okay. We'll see how this one goes. I think that frees Brad up, but we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. With the rest of this game, maybe Sandfer has something to throw back Brad here on green, but peculiar call to let him go early.
Brad down at 5 there, obviously iced out in red. Charles with 11. So he'll now bring it over into blue. See, Charles with having all those cards on that +6, he's being able to control the colors here now. If he sees that he's been able to open something up for Brad, he may be able to call right back to a color he knows that Brad's out of.
Well, light switch here from Sandfer. We go into blue, and Brad has no blue, so that's 2 color now for him. So
Mm. Yeah,
Sandfer
that's
looks
bad
more on the
news because
board.
Charles had a lot of blue from what I was able to tell there. Blue and yellow, I think, were the 2 colors that Charles was looking to run in. That was before the +6.
So, well, at this point, then, with Sandfer potentially having a lot of blue, he's going to be really just kind of walking carefully through the numbers here. Brad gets the top deck blue 9. But, I mean, I've said it before, it's kind of like walking through a minefield where you just don't want to step on the wrong thing and then get blown up with a switch.
Absolutely, especially with what it's looking like that Brad doesn't have much right now on the ammo after he had that stacked +2, not knowing what Charles might have gotten on the return or what he might be having stored up. We really haven't seen Charles play any ammo cards here, so anything he might have gotten off the start still could be there too.
Do keep in mind also, if Sandfer has like a massive 8-9 card run to the finish, Brad could have the option to power play defensively, would use it up, but
Yep.
would keep him at least alive. Alright, well, Sandfer plays down the blue 3. That's going to be another successful one, and Brad drew, but Sandfer now switches to yellow.
I'd be a little worried here now because I would assume Charles is out of blue. The only color he needed left was that yellow, and he's made the initiation over to it here at 7 cards. If you're Brad, you got to start really thinking about the possibility that Sandfer could be putting a run together here.
Sandfer taking a second to think about this one. Brad down to 5, Sandfer at 7. Gonna go with yellow 4. Oop,
Brad's going to
yellow
find a
skip, blue
wraparound.
skip. Could Brad find a finish here? Knew he drew before on the blue. Red skip. Oh, man. This could be a game 7 here. Rivers, that's it. Wow.
It
Going to game
is.
7. 5-card run to the end. And it looks
What
like
the
those
heck did he
draws
get
were
on
able
that top
to
deck?
keep him alive. Yeah, Seth, I mean, you can feel free to ask a question on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, what did you get on the top deck there that linked them all together? I'm assuming one of those skips?
Brad? No, Brad's gonna type.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
basically there, I never had a +4. I had the +2s off the start.
Should have swapped.
Like,
I was
like it made
I'm like, okay, what could he have if I swap? But
so basically for me, like I knew I had to put +2 early. I was just hoping for like a skip reverse event to the end, and that's what I got. Because like I needed to like set Sandfer back, so like he would have to give me cards so I could get a reverse skip run to the end. That was what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Sanford's last cards here. I mean, that's I guess that's one where it comes in where you use the power play early and then don't have it back. If Sanford had the power play, would have won that one, but Brad able to get out of there just in time and escape before a big plus 6 card run would have ended the series.
Yeah, Charles did a good job of fading there. I didn't realize he had that type of ammo in green. It looked like he was mostly looking to run in yellow to the end.
I
So
actually had that for like the entire game.
that that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. So that was a good job of fading that off, man. I mean,
Even the double +2 didn't give me much on the ammo side, actually. I think I had all the ammo prior to that. I think it was mostly the numbers, like the red 4 was in there.
you mentioned it, G-Man. Now with Brad winning this game, he doesn't have the full send to call on here. So it'll be interesting to see now in the 7th game with a power play available too. Let's not lose sight of that. He's been able to draw it back even 3-3, has not had to use his power play offensively or defensively. So that's a huge momentum boost going into this 7th game.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that, and I mean, we were talking about it before. It was looking dire for Brad, down 3-0, and for Game 4, he was just thankful to get that win so he could have 100. But now he has suddenly found himself back in this series, and he's on the doors of a reverse sweep and probably possibly ending Sanford's season right here. I mean, we look at the ammo as well. I mean, it was looking bad for Brad early on, but I mean, it's looking a little better now. But there's still definitely some things that are a bit all over the place. I mean, Sanford still leading with the reverses, Brad still with a bit of a lead on the +2s, but +4 skips even, Brad with an extra wild. There's still not really been many +4s, only one each for the +4s, so this has been a very, very not very +4 heavy series, although Sanford did have a +4 that he was waiting to use on, so technically you could say that's the third, but I mean, your thoughts? We go into Game 7. Again, the series has been connections, connections, connections. So, your thoughts here and what Brad thinks of doing here, with that in mind, as this is going to be all or nothing game, and he does have the power play as well, so that is going to be an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. I just checked back. We actually broke the streak at 5 straight games. Brad was the first one to draw back on this, but he was able to win this game. I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed here is what we talk about, it's now evened up on the ammo. We've ended up seeing where prior to this, the trend was the first person to draw back was statistically going to be the one that was going to lose out. If you look at the cards self-drawn, only 15 self-drawn cards between these two. They've been able to really use the top deck with the draws to be able to keep their hopes alive, whether it was Charles in those first 3 games or Brad to draw it back here even 3-3. We talked about this having a 7-game vibe to it with the experience level between these two individuals, all the different games they've played, the accolades they've been able to accumulate here. It was looking like it was gonna maybe not get there, but that veteran experience coming into play there with Brad, and now heading into this game 7. Yeah, I'm gonna be really interested to see here not only what the call is going to be, but also if having the power play available is going to also come into play with what the card start's also going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess with that, it's just this is where a call comes down to. Both have won 3 straight here. Who will get Game 7? Will Brad complete the reverse sweep, or will Sanford deny it? We'll find out. Brad, Game 7, you have the call, all or nothing. What's it gonna be?
Perfect 10. All right.
All right, well, 10 is gonna be the opener here. Um, so gonna go down the middle. So we can be talking about bowling here. got to get that perfect strike here to close out the series. But again, Brad with that power play, I would say that puts him in advantage here, but we'll see how Sandfer responds here. To try and deny the momentum from fully taking over. Ooh, that is not necessarily the opening you want per se. But maybe could have something else lined up.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we ended up seeing back in that last game, Charles was able to fade off of green and he had ammunition on off the start. So maybe some ammo cards in yellow he doesn't want to play here, so he draws back instead. But interesting there on the call for 10 as well, because he had the option of still being up there somewhat in high tier since he hadn't won on 11 through 13 in those first 3 games. But we'll see. We'll see. I think this is twofold. I think this is one, he's had some good momentum with ammunition, so he's hoping that trend continues. Two, if you put it down there midway at 10, you're putting the odds in favor of there not being a lot of ammunition on the other side that would negate the possibility of his power play usage.
Sanford's gonna switch the red here, so trying to keep it tight on what his situation is on yellow for now, but does that open for the door for Brad to get something rolling here on this red here, or is it going to be a situation where Sanford has no yellow and Red has no red?
As you said, for Charles to stay in the conversation for Super League, it would put him up in the bubble conversation. And just in today's game and a couple of games yesterday alone, that bubble spot is becoming very, very congested. Brad would
Crossover.
love to solidify himself in Super League and not be down in that conversation here.
I mean, I think for Sanford, with him being ranked 30th, I think it's going to be a really tall ask to make it in with a round of 32 exit. So, I mean, with him, it's win or go home mentality. I think
Yep.
no Brad has win or go home mentality as well. He still could have a chance, but it's going to be very, very hard if he does not win this game.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the shift in percentage. With a win, 74% chance of Super League for Brad. With a loss, it puts him at 50-50.
All right. Well, I mean, the crossover from Brad working out well so far. Sanford just playing the green, Brad responding. So maybe a bit of a stroll here on the green grass right now. We'll see, but no, Sanford's actually going to go back in the red.
Brings it back after Brad swapped it off there into green. So we'll see if there was any in reserve here for Brad. Is he going to have to draw back? Does he have an ammo card to give him? So he had some in reserve. Interesting. Okay, so a fade there by Brad.
I think the biggest thing right now here is Brad with Sanford drawing on that first turn at 2.5 card advantage at the moment. So he's
And the
sitting
power
in a
play,
good spot, and the power play as well. He's sitting in a good spot here. This really just depends on what Sanford. And Sanford drawing again. This is not looking good for Sanford here.
Ooh. He might have been trying to go back to red just to try and force into a draw city there, realizing that he was going to be out of red soon. Brad's at 5. We could see the power play pretty
Red's
soon here.
0.
Okay. Well, maybe we
Down
might
to
see it
4.
here, but no.
I think for Sanford, he knows time is ticking down here soon. Just
Almost
the question
makes
is,
me
can he?
wonder too if he swapped it over into red and was depleted on that. Does he not have any ammo cards? Otherwise, I would have thought he would try to get over to a color where he's got those to try and draw Brad away from the brink of possibly winning this.
I mean, I was about to say that. The question is, does Sanford even have anything in the first place? I mean, he is not. He is holding on this one a bit. But is this more of a figuring something else out to do? Whether he wants to go with an ammo card he might have, or maybe something else. Again,
I'd
Brett
be
at
surprised.
4.
Be surprised. Yeah, I was gonna say I would be surprised if he off of wait. Okay, so we'll cap it up. I was gonna be
Oh,
really surprised if he swapped it off of 0. So it was either gonna be a +4 or a drawback.
I mean, he pretty much just flipped the scoreboard right there, and that's only the third
Yes.
+4 of the entire series. I mean, the big question is that end up being a top tick +4, which that is going to be absolutely tragic for Brad if that's the case. But we'll have to see.
The other
But
thing I'd be
Brad back
worried
with the
about
lead.
here too with the 10 card start would that have been, depending if it was a top deck +4 or any of the cards we see there that he was able to chain together. Is that all the ammo? Has he just depleted all of his ammo right there trying to flip the script, gain the advantage, and set Brad back?
I'm wondering if he used up all his ammo on the yellow as well, because he saw with the skip in the reverse there also. So maybe that's what he
Yep.
had at the start, and he was just trying to figure out a way to not necessarily use the yellow per se, or use that up early. But what does that leave
Blue is the
Sandfer with
Pandora's
left?
box color. This is our first time in it this game.
Okay, Brad's gonna respond with a +4 of his own here. So +4s are coming out now. We go in the green.
Interesting he uses the +4 here. I don't know if he thought that Charles maybe could have had a run, maybe some split ammo there at the end, but he does have the power play too. So instead, he preserves the power play and uses the +4 instead, which in a sense is almost kind of like a power play, though you are giving 4 extra cards to the other side.
I think the thing here with Brad for the power play is he's gonna want to use it to end the series,
Yeah.
unless Sandfer is going on a run and he feels in massive danger. This is not gonna end the series because he would have power played there, but he is down. He is getting really down there. He's only down to 2 cards, so
Yeah.
looking very precarious for Sandfer at the moment. He used 1+4. Unless he's got something here, it's could be a put up or shut up moment here. Switch to blue.
Ooh. Brings it back to blue, that Pandora's color.
Does that save Sandfer, or was it not going to matter? That was
There's the
not going to
power play.
matter. I wouldn't be
Nope.
surprised if it's a wild here. Let's see it. Past 7 minutes. No. Oh, no. It was the
No,
fatal
just
switch.
wow. Just finished it out in 2 blues. Wow.
And it's going to be the fatal switch that probably is going to end Sanford's season. Unbelievable. Brad with the reverse sweep, moving on to the round of 16, keeps his toxic 32 streak alive, goes up to 7-0 in his career. Brad, walk me through that one. I mean, you were in a very bad spot at the first half of this series, but managed to just find the momentum, find a way, and I mean, that game 10 as well, that +4 definitely threw you back a bit, but was able to find the break there and capitalize. But your thoughts, you get the win. Round 32 perfect streak continues, and you're going to the round
Did you
16 with
say game
a big
10?
win.
Let's
No,
go.
with the
I
10,
won.
not the game 10. If I said game 10, I meant the 10 card start.
Let's go. I won. I'm so happy.
Any other comments
I
about
don't know.
the reverse sweep?
But I'm so glad I won. That was actually crazy. Like I got nothing the first 3 games, everything the last 4. It was so crazy. I don't
All right,
even know
well,
what to say.
yeah, we'll give you a minute there. Pretty exhilarating run to the end there, but I mean, Sanford, your thoughts? That was an unfortunate way to end it with the switch to blue. That's ultimately what did you in there. But your comments on the series, any general takeaways, and just your thoughts on your season.
I mean, realistically, I should have probably won game 6. In hindsight, could have played that differently. If I switched to green, then we don't even get to game 7. So it is what it is. I mean, the way the season goes, well, at least mine, at least. You can probably look back at every single match and look at like, oh yeah, had you done that differently, but oh well. It is what it is. Can't help it. I mean, it's one of those things. Would you rather lose by drawing, or would you rather lose by playing a card? So
Yeah, I mean,
because
in those I think in those moments, it's obviously a lot of foresight in there, but obviously a tough way to lose on that one, especially with the series. All right, well, yeah, Seth, we'll go to you here. I mean, your takeaways, Brad, I mean, was just able to stay resilient and keep the pedal on his foot to the gas and manage to find a way to get the reverse sweep and keep his run alive. Your thoughts as he gets the win here and throw Sanford. Well, Sanford now actually his season ends with a perfect equity, perfectly balanced because he ends up 5-5 and 32-32. So a true 500 season for Sandfer here to probably end up. I don't know if he's gonna make Super League. I don't think he will. But your thoughts on the series and Brad just being able to get the reverse sweep?
Yeah, the perseverance was incredible, not only with the fact that, as we said, he was able to hold on to that power play until the last game, which ended up being the difference maker, but you kind of look at his start to that reverse sweep as well. It was all over the board for card starts. We were down in the low tier with 6. We went to the extreme upper tier there at 14 and 15. So, and then we were right there in the middle at 10. So it was like all over the place. We've obviously saw with his first two homestands, he's very comfortable up there in the upper tier, but had to change it up a little bit, obviously in the away game with 6 cards, and then choosing right plunk in the middle there for this final game. So I think one of my big takeaways here is, when we eventually get into 2026, if he advances into the round of 32, you better be sweating bullets if you're the person that's going up against him. Is now he's 7-0 in the round of 32. I don't know what it is about this particular round, but it just seems like he's able to. I don't know if he's got a golden horseshoe or what, but he's found something where even when he's down, you cannot count him out, which he exemplified here.
Yeah, again for Brad able to stay in it and get the win here. I mean, he mentioned it's second reverse sweep in the second round in his career, but a big win for Brad here as he moves on and will now face DJ Curtis, who is also in a spot looking to try to keep his season alive. But Brad going to have the home field with that one, 3 versus 10. We'll see who wins that one in the Swarm 16, and Brad continuing his quest to make Super League. Sanford, his quest ends here. Probably not gonna make. I wouldn't say it's a 0% chance, but it's astronomically low chances, unfortunately. So, for Sanford, probably not looking great. But at the end of the day, a 500 season, nothing to slack about. But definitely not what he was hoping for here, as he looks to move forward wherever he goes. But for Brad, keeps himself alive, plays Curtis in the next round here. But yeah, we'll go back to Brad here since he give a little bit of the cool off. Any final thoughts here as you go up against Curtis in the Storm 16 and look to keep the run going and possibly make it into the round of 8?
So next time, I just have to keep it one game at a time. Like, I'm not sure about anything about Super League. I just know I need to win. I don't think I'm in if I lose to DJ, but who knows? I'll have to see. It's gonna be a month. Who knows? I just want to try to win. I don't know what to say.
Well, I've said it in D2 and I've said it in a lot of other places. The easiest thing you could do to help your chances is win. So just keep on winning, and that can be a recipe for success. But yeah, I mean, Seth, any last comments here before we wrap up the stream overall? Again, good series, but any takeaways for Brad going into the Swarm 16?
We said coming into this one, this had all the looks of going to a game 7 with experience between these two. We saw all that experience exemplified in these matchups here. Yeah, it will be interesting to see because, for Brad, obviously building some momentum here, didn't get to play in the round of 64, now has this reverse sweep here, some momentum going into the round of 16. And DJ Curtis, he's been on a bit of a comeback trail himself. So, again, we're going to get to see some experience come into play from those two. And I can't obviously make the prediction right now, but just looking at it on paper, I would definitely look at this as possibly going to that final game as well. So some good experience here for Brad going up against one of the best in the business in Charles Sandfer as well. Um, it's going to be interesting to watch him going forward. These nail biting games, they can only make you better as a player. So Bad Brad, whatever he's able to take away from this going forward, keep an eye on him as he tries to make that run to Super League.
All right, well, thank you, Seth. I think that'll do it for us. Again, that will be the series. Congratulations to Brad on the win. Able to fight through it for Sanford on an unfortunate end there. We'll see what he does going forward. But that'll do it for us on behalf of the MRE Uno team and everyone who came out to watch, including my co-commentator Seth or Ref Sky, and both our players. Thank you all so much for watching. Congrats, Brad, on the victory here. We got some more matches coming up for you here in the next 48 hours here. Just pulling up the schedule here. I don't have a graphic, but we do have 2 more games tonight. One of them off stream, one of them on stream. 8 p.m. going to be KT versus Clay. That'll be a good one. New Jersey in-state battle there, so we'll see who gets to win. KT looking to help his chances at Super League. Although he's in a good spot, and Clay looking to just keep his season alive. And then at 9:30 p.m. in the zombie region, Tapir and Austin Rogers going at it. Rogers looking to go on a big run here. Tapir looking to put himself in the Super League field for the 2nd straight season. And then we'll wrap up with a 3-game slate tomorrow with 4 p.m. Lane Yoshi on stream, 8:15 Toasty versus Ard off stream, and then 8:30 in the nuclear region, Monkey versus Lara on stream to wrap things up. But that'll do it for us. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will catch you all later tonight for some more MRE Uno action. But until then, take care, everyone, and have a great day.
Live by aggression and die by it. I mean, that's where this bot was. I mean, 84-84 on cards played.
That's crazy.